At the end of the day, some tech side hustles are actually worth your time and have extreme outcome potential, while others are super popular and well known, but the time to income ratio is not worth it. Hi, my name is Courtney. I'm a college developer. On this channel, I literally talk about ways for you to break into the tech industry. And today we'll be ranking some of the more popular tech side incomes to see which one's actually worth your time. Now, I'm not necessarily just making this off of money. I have some other criteria. I'm also basing this off of income potential, difficulty to start, scalability, time required, competition, and long-term opportunity. And also, I do want to throw in beginner friendliness. I have a large range of you guys that some of y'all have genuinely never seen a line of code, and some of you only do AI prompting, while others of you are a bit more seasoned in the career. So this is for anybody, but overall I do want to kind of rank it as well for beginner friendliness. Now, one of the first ways that a lot of people in the tech industry want to make side income is building an application. Now, apps can make thousands and thousands of dollars, and honestly, if you do a good subscription model style, you can make a good recurring revenue. Some examples of this could be like a habit tracker, a fitness app, flashcard app for studying. If you're trying to break into healthcare, education, finance, honestly, those are some really big industries. While they have a large upside potential, are super competitive. Due to those different things that I ranked earlier, unfortunately, this is only going to get into my A tier. The next thing that I have is teaching coding online. Now, this isn't necessarily talking about content creation, but I am talking about doing like a tutoring service, whether you want to do out of schools, you want to do Wizant or Super Prof. While they do have a good hourly pay, it's definitely not going to compare to some of the bigger, more prosperous potential opportunities that you have in your future. So that's why this one's only going to land in the C tier. It's also like you are literally trading your time for money. So there's no real potential for you to kind of scale that up. There's no potential for you to outsource anything really. At the end of the day, this is an active source of income. You actively have to be spending your time for that money. So that's why it's getting a C tier rating for me. Next thing that I have is selling online courses. This is honestly a pretty great idea, but the main thing that you need is an audience. Once you have an audience to sell to, and honestly, any of these things are pretty much A tier, but you know, that whole process of garnering an audience for your online course specifically can be a bit daunting and can require a lot of time investment. I know I'm personally creating an audience on YouTube, not to sell courses to, but just of like genuine people that are trying to grow in their tech careers. And it's taken me years to just get to 2,000 subscribers. So like, I could only imagine what you're trying to like do for people to actually like purchase your product. Like, I've never wanted to sell any. There's definitely a market for that, but again, it's like super saturated. A lot of people are selling courses nowadays, and there's a lot of like there's a lot of companies that already kind of have that clout and cachet. So why would somebody go get your course as opposed to getting like Anthropic's course or a LinkedIn Learning course? Or if you're able to get a decent audience behind you and have people that are willing to like purchase your product, absolutely go for it. But if not, you know, that's kind of why, unfortunately, selling courses is landing in my B tier today. Next one I have is AI automation agency. This is where like businesses at the end of the day really want AI in their companies to either make them more efficient, to kind of streamline some of their processes. While this is honestly really great, especially in the modern day, a lot of people are doing AI, and this is a super competitive potential company, and it definitely requires a lot more time up front to really refine your product before we really start pushing it and charging them the big bucks. So because of that, it's only also going to get an A tier rating. Some ideas for this one would be chatbots, automations, CRM workflows, email automation, database visualization, things of that sort. A lot of state level government workers, our main job is like data analysis. This can be outsourced to a company like yours. The next thing that I have is freelance coding gigs. This is whether you want to do Fiverr or Upwork. At the end of the day, beginner friendliness, this is fairly easy to start. It's really easy to set up a web page, but when it comes to competition, it is fierce. Those sites are super saturated, full of people that have years of experience already being on those sites or years of experience actually in the tech industry. So actually getting connections via one of those pre-made platforms can be fairly difficult to do, which is why this is unfortunately getting a C tier rating for my personal scale. There is a potential upside for you to make really good money with some of these side freelance coding gigs, but you really do have to make yourself stand out. So that time in the beginning, a lot of it is just spent investing in the actual business, trying to make yourself more known to get people to actually like purchase your services, as opposed to other people that might have more reviews, might be a bit more cost efficient for some people. The next thing that I have is dropshipping AI websites. Now this is like where you buy like a ChatGPT generated like Shopify website template. this is kind of a newer concept here, but it's essentially where you use AI to create website templates and then share it to like massive like sites like Shopify. Well, there definitely is a platform for creating and selling templates. When it comes to specifically creating those sites with AI, a lot of the times AI makes actual slop looking websites. They all look the exact same, very rounded edges, gray and white, and sometimes black if you want to do a dark mode. So because of that, there's no real individuality or uniqueness. Therefore, people are not really going to pay a lot of money for that, which is why unfortunately we're going to get my first F tier of the day, because at the end of the day, people, they want some uniqueness. Now, there absolutely is opportunity for you to make money when it comes to templates, especially if you want to sell on some platforms like Shopify, like Notion. But however, you cannot do that and just put a crappy website template out there. It has to be very dynamic. It has to look way more unique, because at the end of the day, people can do it nowadays by themselves. So why would they get your crappy template that you used AI on instead of doing it themselves? You know what I mean? The next thing that I have is selling digital products. Now, this can be like templates, Notion systems, coding interview guides, resume templates, UI kits, prompt packs. Honestly, this is a super scalable potential income maker here. You only have to make the product once and then iterate on it a few times, maybe a year. But the whole thing is, once you're able to actually create something really good, and put it in front of a decent audience that's willing to purchase it, your income ability is infinite to a technicality, especially if your product is good. People are willing to pay high levels of money to make their sites more dynamic, more efficient. If they are able to get more user retention, higher revenue earnings. So selling digital products, there's definitely a huge upside to it. There is a lot of time that you might need to actually invest when it comes to A, creating a good, refined product, and then B, actually getting it in front of an audience. But if you're willing to do that, I personally am a huge fan of selling digital products, because you don't have to worry about the physical shipment of it or anything of that sort. You can sell them via Gumroad, via Stripe, and they only take a small percentage of your actual sales money. So the profit margins there are also really great, because once you create it the first time, there's no real cost unless you're using AI. It might cost some tokens for you to sell your product, but then just sell it at a higher price. It's honestly, I think this is amazing, which is why it is landing in my S tier category. The next thing that I have is a coding bootcamp mentor. A lot of people want to break into the tech industry nowadays. A lot of people want to break into the tech industry nowadays, for better or for worse. But at the end of the day, if we create as many technically savvy people as possible, we are doing good, in my personal opinion. So becoming a coding bootcamp mentor can be very fulfilling, and then it also can have some decent income. It's a nice side income, but at the end of the day, it's not scalable. You are trading your time for money, which is why it's landing in my C tier. Now, if you were to create a actual coding bootcamp yourself and then sell the mentor, and then have people come on as mentors, sell the course that way, then yeah, of course, that is definitely a more scalable company. But as an actual mentor yourself, you're not really making that kind of income. You're not getting commission or anything of that sort. Therefore, it's not really worth it as compared to some of these other options that I'm sharing today. All right, that's a lot. So I'm gonna end it off on my last and favorite possible tech item, or tech side income here, that you could truly scale into the millions after a few years, which is software as a service product. Software as a service is something that can be as little as a Chrome extension to something as large as Stripe, Netflix, Spotify. You truly can create $1 billion software as a service product, as long as it's really good. It brings in recurring monthly revenue. It sells worldwide. It has really high margins because you create it once and you sell it multiple times. And you can eventually sell the business and get acquired. I know so many SaaS companies that have been acquired for over $30 million. But, at the end of the day, it is really difficult to build. I'm not trying to make this seem like it is the easiest thing in the world, because it's not. Creating a truly profitable and successful SaaS company takes time, effort, and investment on your end. But if you do it properly, truly the upside is limitless. So it's some potential example ideas here is a resume builder, an AI productivity tool, budgeting app, like I said, a Chrome extension. These are things that they can be simple and are very competitive. It is competitive to break into a good SaaS industry. But if you do it properly, genuinely, like I said, the sky is the limit. There are billionaires made today in this world via a SaaS startup side income. You know what I'm saying? So That's why personally for me, SaaS is going to end up in that S tier. I think that's honestly the best way for me to wrap up this video. But since you stayed so long, I do want to give you a quick bonus one, and that is content creation. Whether you want to do technical content creation or you want to do some more like social content creation, like what I do for tech industry specifically, you get revenue from AdSense, sponsorships. If you want to sell courses, you can, affiliate links, digital products. Essentially, you are building an audience for you to potentially sell to. So, it's a great thing, but the time investment is a lot. Like I said, I've done this for 2 years and I've barely touched 2,000 subscribers. So it definitely takes a bit of time for you to actually like invest into it. But if you are consistent and if you are actively striving to do better, upgrade your content and actually like get it out there to more and more people, you will succeed in like your ventures. You just definitely need to make sure you are providing value to people, listening to feedback, listening to comments. People email me frequently just asking for like my personal advice on like my experiences, and it's honestly been super fulfilling. That's why it's also going to end up in S tier. Thank you so much for staying towards the end. Please be sure to check out the description below. I always pack that full of resources. So if you want to do any of these, I will still give you some resources to help you out with your journey. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you found value in today's video. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Quartz Corner.